If someone were to ask you what you picture a minimalist house looking like, there is probably a great chance that you would be picturing a person sitting on the floor with no furniture, with their back up against a white wall with no decorations hung up. Now, there are people that live life extremely minimal, and that gives them joy, and that is great. But I personally love all things warm and cozy. And if you're wondering if you can have a house that is both minimal and cozy, I think it's very possible. And I think that you can achieve it. Here's what I have done in my home to create a cozy little home that happens to be more minimal. I think we all know that a house, a home, is more than just a structure. It's a place that brings security and comfort and safety. It's a place that should express who we are as people. Okay, so with my journey and quest for making a home that feels both warm and also minimal, these are things that me and my family have done to, I think, execute it pretty well. These are some things that I have done. Number one, bringing nature indoors. Now, I'm not saying to go outside and grab a pile of dirt, but what I'm saying is adding more plants and more life, outdoor life into the home has helped us. For example, adding more wood and textures, maybe stone. We love plants, and so plants has been probably the biggest way we do this in our home. There's something about more life in the home that makes it feel more joy-filled and more cozy. Another way that I try to add more nature into the home is using the sun for natural light during the day. The first thing in the morning I do when I wake up is I open up all of the windows and I let in all of that beautiful natural light. It instantly boosts my mood and it is a great way to create a joy-filled atmosphere. And in the evenings, bringing in more warm lights. I have found it just makes it cozier in the evenings. Maybe it's like the Himalayan salt lamps, which I actually don't have personally, but I do want one eventually. I think they're really cute and I think it's a great way to add just a warm, cozy light feeling. But for us, we have a light actually right over my head. That is our kind of cozy light that we put on in the evenings. I'm sure there are other ways that I'm missing, but bringing nature indoors is a way that I feel like I've been able to create a more cozy home in our little house. Okay, number two is colors. So for me, I feel like with our house, we have a very neutral color baseline, but we lately, I would say in the past 2 years, have been adding more colors into our home. Colors is a beautiful thing that I feel like is kind of blacklisted maybe. I don't know, it has been blacklisted in the past 4 years. The beige trend has been very strong and there's a good reason for it. I think, neutral colors bring a sense of calm and peace, and I do love the neutral colors, I can't lie. But I think for a while, I was afraid to add any colors into my life, anything. It was all my clothes were beige colors and our home decor, just everything. I feel like I was always just gravitating towards the beige neutral colors. And I think God created colors for a reason. Colors can boost your mood and color can just bring a different vibe to the atmosphere. So I have found that having a neutral baseline for our home, but adding in bits of color here and there has been a great way to have kind of the best of both worlds. If everything was colorful, I do think it would be overstimulating and a little stressful. But being that we have neutral colors, we are now able to add in splashes of color here and there that I think goes well together. It doesn't make it overwhelming, but it still adds a happy presence with each color. Okay, number three is comfortable furniture. This may not be a hard one for most of you guys. I think most people generally like comfortable furniture, but there was a season in my life that I really liked the mid-century, really stiff leather types of couches and chairs. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I think if I didn't have maybe little kids around, maybe we would have it, I don't know. But there's just something about a really comfy couch and comfy chairs and a comfy rug that is like a big warm hug when you sit in it. I love when I go to someone's house and they have a big old comfy couch that has blankets and they want you to put your feet up and just get comfortable. If a couch looks like it would be a good couch for me to sit on with a blanket and get curled up with a cup of tea, that is the type of couch and furniture that I want in my life. Number four, personal touches / sentimental items. It's something I didn't always desire or do, but I think maybe in the last 3 years has been a huge desire of mine. I love having sentimental pieces in our home. Our coffee table, for example, was my grandma's, and it was a table she had when she was raising her kids. All of her kids learned to walk around this table. I learned to walk around the same table, and now I'm watching my kids doing the same thing. And I, for the longest time, didn't want to have this coffee table because I didn't like how it looked, and I wanted a really modern, trendy coffee table, something that was in style right now currently. And that's, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. But when I was given a perfectly fine table that had so many memories attached to it, and especially when my grandma passed away, it brought me so much joy to take it out and to have it now in our living room. And I don't even think now of, oh man, I could have a trendier table. I don't know, it just brings me so much joy, just a simple old wooden table, because I know how much it meant to my grandma, and I know all the memories attached to it is now getting to live on now through my kids and our family, which is super beautiful. I was always afraid of having like old things in my home, and I think the older I get, the more I feel more attached to my family history and just history in general. When you're a kid, you don't really think about the past. Now, as I am getting older, I always am thinking about the past and the future. We have quilts made from family members and antique pieces that are kind of scattered all throughout the house, and I love it. And anytime I get to catch a glimpse of any of these items, it always brings a smile to my face. And I think you feel that going into a home. Okay, number 5, I think it's number 5, good smelling scents, natural scents in the house. I heard this from somebody, I forget who now, but they said something along the lines of they want their home to look like it smells like fresh baked bread and not like Lysol or, you know, cleaning products. And I was like, wow, that is super profound and something that I now, after hearing them say it, desire myself. From the moment we wake up, I feel like we have scents going on in the house, whether it's bacon cooking or coffee brewing, baking cookies or muffins or baking bread, having apple cider simmering on the stove, essential oils, or maybe a good non-toxic candle, or maybe a toxic candle sometimes, you know. But having good scents going in the home, it really does just automatically make a house more cozy. When somebody walks into my home, I want them to smell pieces of who we are as a family. I love making Mexican food. I'm Venezuelan and Mexican and Italian, and I love just the sense of Hispanic culture. It reminds me of home. The smell of cumin and garlic probably are the 2 scents that most transport me back in time to when I was a little girl, because those scents were always going on in my kitchen. And when you walk into a home that smells good, you feel the love, and it makes you want to dive into whatever that scent is, right? So yeah, having a good smelling home is something that I think most people could probably agree on, that it definitely just makes you feel cozy. The 6th thing I'm keeping, I don't know why I'm having such a hard time keeping track of the numbers. I think it's number 6, pictures. And so having family pictures, we have a wall in the corner of our house that has like grandparent pictures, and like it's like the family corner. And yeah, I love just the sense of family. Although I love pretty paintings and, you know, decor, we also want to make sure we leave enough room on our walls for family pictures and pictures of us. And I've also noticed that when we hang pictures up, my boys love it. I think it makes them feel loved. They know just how proud we are of them. It's such an honor that we get to raise up 4 little faces on our wall of our boys. The last thing that comes to mind, and I don't know if I could really, I'm trying to find a way to articulate this, is having a loose grip on the possessions in your home. Walking into a house that you feel like you can't touch anything, you're afraid you're gonna stain this or break that. I had a family member growing up that their house was so, they were very particular people. They liked things in a certain way, and I'm not saying that's wrong. I think certain people can thrive in that type of atmosphere, but I remember as a little kid feeling uninvited and just feeling like I just wanted to leave and go home like as soon as I walked in, because I felt like I couldn't touch anything. It just felt like I had to stay in my own little bubble. And as a child, I can remember very clearly just feeling like I couldn't relax, and it didn't give me any sense of peace or just like calm. It was definitely not cozy. And when my husband and I first got married and started creating our home, I feel like we would spend money on certain things in our home that I would have the same feeling. If a kid got too close, I'd be like, ah! Or I wouldn't want people to eat here or walk here, touch this, look at that. And first off, it made me feel like I couldn't rest really when people came, because I had to be on watch all the time. Now, having house rules and order and structure is a good thing. I think, you know, you shouldn't just be a free-for-all and let kids all over the house. And also as parents, I don't want my kids also to to, you know, when we go to people's houses, to be touching everything and breaking things. I think you need to respect house rules, and I think you should teach your kids, and also you as people, right, should be orderly people and be mindful and courteous of those around you. So I'm not saying like I just want to walk into someone's house and be able to do whatever I want. Like that's not what I'm saying. But I do think you can tell when someone just genuinely cares about you more than their possessions around them, if that makes sense. I've had friends and families come over where they spill on the couch or something gets on the rug, and things that would have been hard for me maybe 4 years ago, it doesn't even faze me now. Because for me, I want them to feel so at home that they know that I care about them as people more than I care about this rug or this stain on the couch. My parents actually are really good at this, and they have really taught me a lot in this area. Because again, when we were first married, I feel like they felt like they couldn't touch things in our new home when we were newly married. And then going to their house, it was the opposite. Like I knew that they genuinely cared more about us than any stain that they may get. I don't know if this is making any sense at all. I hope it is. I think I've just grown to have a loose grip on the things in my home. And I'm not saying that I don't want to take care of them. I don't take anything in my house for granted, because I know God has given me all things. And yeah, I want to take care of them. But I also want people to come into my home and feel like they can relax and be at peace and not have to be in their own little bubble and afraid to like touch anything or sit here. And yeah, right? Do you get what I'm saying? I don't know. I'm sure you probably can understand, hopefully. Because yeah, I don't know why that point is hard to articulate. You know it when you feel it, I guess. So yeah, if you're wondering if you can have a minimal home and a cozy home and intertwine those two together, I think it's very possible, and I think you can do it. I just spilled coffee on myself. If I'm missing something, or if I didn't touch on something, I would love to hear in the comments maybe ways that you create a minimal/cozy home as well. Because I'm still learning, and I'm still growing as a mom and as a wife, and every day I feel like I just want to learn and be better than the day before, you know? So, okay, so thank you for watching. Cheers again if you've made it this far, and see you next week.